Record. Hi there, my name is Renee Hobbs and welcome to EDC 534. It's Monday, January 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I am here with the amazing students enrolled in EDC 534, Digital Authorship. And we have a kind of a fast and furious hour where we're going to get acquainted, we're going to take a look at the syllabus, we're going to start talking about some of the ideas of the course, and get a sense of what the nature of the learning experience is like for this course. But it's a good idea for us to go around the room and introduce ourselves to each other and figure out what do we have in common, right? So that's how we're going to start. We're going to go around the room and we're going to introduce ourselves and we're going to see if we can find 2 or 3 or 4 things that we have in common. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Thanks.
My name's Marie Montero Mello. I'm new to anything that has to do with the computer. So I'm kind of a little lost. When I looked at the syllabus, I was like, oh boy. But I like something new and a challenge, and I'm excited to learn something that I can use when I'm subbing in the classroom. It seems like all the students know more than I do in elementary school. So I'd like to be on the same level as they are.
Okay, so notice all the clues that Marie gave us. Elementary school, she likes a challenge, she feels new to technology. Now, does somebody have anything in common with any of those 3 things? She likes a challenge, she's in elementary, and she's feeling new to technology. Mary, I see your hand raised. Will you introduce yourself to us, please?
Yeah, I'm Mary Wallace. I am the Educational Technology Coordinator in a medium-sized school district in southwestern Pennsylvania. And Marie, I will tell you, I started out, probably a good 11 or 12 years ago, and I didn't even know what a flash drive was. And so there you go. And I came out of a 3rd grade classroom at that point, and I'm now Ed Tech Coordinator for a district of about 3,000 students.
Oh,
so it can be done.
Yes.
You can teach an old dog new tricks. It's a proven fact.
Good.
So, yes, and I feel as you do. I like a challenge, and I have to kind of reinvent myself every 5 or 6 years. So this certification program is going to help me do that.
Good. Thank you for introducing yourself. So Mary Wallace has helped us see some things we might have in common with her, as she's a lifelong learner, that's for sure.
Don't say how long in life.
I can go next.
Thanks.
So I'm an elementary school teacher as well. I teach 4th grade right now. I started out teaching everything, but now I'm just math and science. And our school has really been pushing for technology into our classroom. So I'm really looking forward to finding different things that I can bring in that's really beneficial and I can really use and implement into the classroom.
And where are you from? Where are you at tonight?
I'm in West Warwick, but I teach in Fall River.
Great. So glad you're here, Olivia. So,
Thank you.
do you have something in common with Olivia? Ooh, okay. We got some feedback there. When that happens, I like to mute my microphone. Daniel, we've got 2 Dans, Dan
Yes.
and Dan.
Right.
Dan wants to introduce himself first.
All right. My name is Dan Tucker. I teach all boys Catholic high school. Excuse me. I teach an all-boys Catholic high school in Westwood, Massachusetts. And we've gone to a 1-to-1 program 4 or 5 years ago. But I think one of the things that draws me to want to be part of this program and take this course is the fact that I don't think there was necessarily enough training done, and I think it's kind of intermittent. And realizing that the move to be more of a constructivist and project-oriented school in light of having the technology in our hands is where we should be going. Even if, we have a whole gamut of faculty running, from the 20s up to their 60s, and people are at different levels of comfort. But I'm right in the middle of that age demographic, and I want to be out in front.
Got it. So Dan, your sense of the value of digital literacy to project-based constructivist learning puts you in a pool with a lot of the rest of us who are trying to figure out how to do that and how to do that well. You're doing it in the context of a high school experience, so we're glad you're here. Dan, how about you?
All right, so I am actually not teaching at the moment. I am a full-time grad student. I am doing a student-defined program, and part of my program is this certification in digital literacy. So yeah. Nice.
And where are you calling in from tonight?
Right now I'm calling from Narragansett, and I work in the School of Education. I'm actually the grad student for Office of Teacher Education right now, and I'm working on their RIDE accreditation as well.
Wonderful. Welcome to the class. Hong Yen, I see you're up next. Will you introduce yourself to us? No, you put your microphone on.
Yes. Hi, I'm Hong Yan Lu from China. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm a visiting scholar at the United States and the University of Rhode Island. And Renee is my supervisor. And I'm very glad to be her student. And nice to meet you. And I would like to join the course this semester with you. So I'm looking forward.
We are. We're glad you're here, and you will give us an international perspective on some of the topics that we are going to be exploring. Lourdes, will you introduce yourself to us, please?
Hi, my name's Lourdes Smith, and I'm down in sunny Florida, although it wasn't very sunny today. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Central Florida in reading education, and I'm taking this, like many of you, for digital literacy certification. Like many of you, it seems I also have a background in elementary ed, and I'm up for some challenges, although lately I'm a little tired, but I'm here. I'm doing okay. And I guess I do consider myself a lifelong learner.
Excellent. We're glad you're here, and we're glad you're bringing the spirit of sunny Florida up here to cold New England. Nada, will you introduce yourself to us?
Sure, if I can figure out how this works. Do I just talk and it makes me be on the main screen? Okay, cool. So my name is Netta. I am enrolled as a grad student at URI taking courses towards teaching for English as a second language certificate. I've been a secondary ed teacher, certified in English for about 10 years now. I've taught pretty much every subject, bounced around long-term sub-position to another long-term sub-position. And I thought this was a really interesting topic. We needed electives for my ESL program. And yeah, I think it's just such a vital thing to understand, especially when you're working with young people, and how to figure out technology and where it's going and how it fits in the classroom and all of that.
Nice. Welcome, and we're glad you're here. Then that helps me see something you have in common with Hong Yan. Hong Yan is an English teacher in China.
Nice.
You are an ESL teacher teaching new immigrants to the United States. So there's a nice symmetry there. Fantastic. Okay, so I thought maybe the first thing we could do is a viewing and discussion experience. So here's the way this is going to work. We're going to watch a little piece of a video, and then we're going to meet in small groups to see if we can talk about a piece of the video that we connected with, we thought was interesting, or that we questioned, something that was noteworthy. So you're going to be taking some notes on this video. Then we're going to break into small groups and talk a little bit about this video. And then we're going to come back together as a large group, right? So sometimes people don't fully understand how flexible the Zoom tool is, and this will give us a chance to practice that. And who am I welcoming? Vanessa.
Hi.
I'm welcoming you with a big digital hug. Here it is. See?
Thank you.
Will you introduce yourself to us, Vanessa?
Absolutely. I am a graduate student in the Library and Information Science program, and I'm doing the school media track. My undergraduate I got a while ago, and I did multimedia and digital recording arts. So I'm really into digital stuff in general. I'm a mom. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I think that covers the bio.
Fantastic. So we are all going to learn from each other in this class. So that's pretty cool. Now, one of the things that I've learned is that there are some things that are, there are some ways that this experience works best. And so right now I've just clicked on the box that says intro to the course, right? And I'm going to basically ask you all to watch the first 4.5 minutes of this film, How to Be Creative. And I'm going to ask you to watch that at in your own space. I've found that when we watch that through the Zoom, there can be some lags or it can be slow. But at this point, I'd like everybody to mute their sound and then click on this button, How to Be Creative. What our viewing prompt is this one. How is creativity relevant to your life? And as you're watching, you're going to be thinking about that prompt. How is creativity relevant to your life? Now, before I go on, let me just check for comprehension. Give me a thumbs up if you know what we're going to be doing now. Thumbs up. Everybody knows what they're doing? Okay, we'll see you in about 4.5 minutes. Remember to mute your microphone while you view. Okay, so if you've hit about the 4:15 or 4:20 mark, you've probably gotten to where you need to be now. All right, so give me a thumbs up if you're back with me and done watching. Okay, we're almost all back. Okay, so remember our focus prompt question. Our focus prompt question is, how is creativity relevant to your life? I'm going to break you into small groups and ask you to talk that through with your partner, and then we're going to come back as a whole group and see what insights we got. All right? So here we go. Are you ready? Watch what happens. Let's do it. The rooms are opening now. Once you get a little message that the room is open, just go into your small group breakout room and talk over the question with your partner.
So strange. Okay.
Oh, another group. Oh, main session. Okay.
Okay, so you had a little tiny experience of a small group breakout room, and it looks like almost everybody's back. Almost everybody's come back from the breakout room. Okay, so welcome back from the breakout room, right? Where you got a chance to interact with a peer on exploring this question, how is creativity relevant to your life? So if creativity is super relevant to your life, give me this. If it's somewhat relevant to your life here, if creativity is not really relevant to your life right now, give me a thumbs down. So by and large, we're feeling creativity has some role to play. The first topic of this course is to explore the concept of creativity in more detail. And that's partly why I wanted to start with this now. Now, I think it's probably useful for us to talk a little bit about the work that you're going to be doing for this class. So I'm going to share my screen with you and kind of give you a little bit of an overview of the course. And to do that, I'll go back to the main page. And one thing that you should know is that all of the syllabus is kind of reproduced up here in the, I guess these are like the class pages. So here's, I'm not sure this is completely current, but as of a couple days ago, there was the class roster, and I'll keep making changes to that. The syllabus, the final project, the leaps, all here. And basically, the syllabus is this space, this learning space. The course is really built around a discovery learning pedagogy. So the first thing I'd like you to do is order the course books that we're going to be reading this semester. David Buckingham's Classic Media Education, Literacy, Learning, and Contemporary Culture. My book on copyright clarity, How Fair Use Supports Digital Learning. Patricia Lang's marvelous book called Kids on YouTube, Technical Identities and Digital Literacies. And the classic comic book by Scott McCloud, Understanding Comics. It's a comic book about understanding comics, and it's absolutely a gem. Okay, so let's take a look at the syllabus and review the learning outcomes, right? So up at the top of the course, there's all the contact information. Our hashtag for this course is EDC 534. We said we would determine the best day of the week and time for students to participate. And it looks like for most of us, that is Monday night at 7 p.m. And so I'm hoping that most of you, that's good for, because here you are, it's Monday night at 7 p.m. Hopefully that's good for you. This course is part of the graduate certificate in digital literacy, and there are the big learning outcomes for that program. Really, this course is about examining the practicing of authoring multimedia as a form of learning. This idea of creating media as a pedagogy or as a form of learning is something we're going to look at both in informal and formal education, right? And so that's going to force us to think about the different tools that we use as digital authors, the different social contexts that we use to create, including at work and in leisure and citizenship. The different symbol systems that we use, like language, image, music, and sound. The different modes that we use, whether we're informing, persuading, or entertaining. The different genres that we use, right? And the kinds of power relationships that happen when we make media. Because being a digital author is a form of social power. And we're going to examine what happens in classrooms when students get access to that social power, right? We're definitely looking at this from an interdisciplinary perspective, right? And some of the disciplines include media literacy, media arts, youth media, writing and rhetoric, media studies, and education. So each of these different perspectives has enlightened us about the power of digital authorship. And we're going to definitely be talking about some of these big ideas: texts, voice, agency, expression, representation, process, and product. These are the big ideas that we're going to learn more from a theoretical point of view about how those apply to our work in educational contexts. Really, what we're thinking a little bit about the habits of mind that are involved in creating to learn. Intellectual curiosity, courage, confidence, tenacity, openness to risk-taking, and experimentation, right? So you're going to do that this semester by being a digital author yourself. And so I do invite you to take a look at the 8 learning objectives for this course. You're definitely going to advance technical proficiency in digital media production. You're definitely going to get engaged in critical reading and synthesis skills. You're going to learn about all of these big theoretical concepts. I think one of the most exciting things that happens in the course is your ability to be a collaborative team member and engage in leadership. And you'll see how that happens this semester. And definitely this course includes a kind of a deep dive into both the practical assignment design, lesson plans, activities, as well as the scholarly research literature, right? Okay, so the course is really built on this idea that you're a self-directed learner and that you're going to make good choices in order to learn as a self-directed learner. This course is also based on the idea that people learn best by making and doing things. And the course is also rooted in this idea that reflection is a big part of how people learn. And so you'll see how those competencies get enacted. So we're going to use a combination of video face-to-face and threaded discussion and text messaging and other online tools, because learning doesn't happen independently. Unlike one of those online courses where you just read a bunch of PDFs and take quizzes or, write a threaded discussion. We're really going to create a learning community here. Now, if you're not able, and I'm speaking to the folks who are watching this recording, if you're not able to participate in this synchronous online learning community, I'm going to expect that you produce a video response to watching this video, and I'll have some instructions on the YouTube page for you about how to do that, right? So in general, what's going to happen is each assignment will be described with a specific list of criteria for evaluation. You're going to find that under the assignments page, and all of the feedback that you receive about your performance will happen in an email. So I'll send your grades back to you via email, right? And a big part of the idea for this course is built around the idea of not using a learning management system like Blackboard or Sakai. Give me a thumbs up if you ever have had a online learning class before this one. Thumbs up if you've had an online learning class. Okay, so not everybody. So for some of you, this is going to be new. Now, thumbs up if you had an online learning class that did not use Blackboard or Sakai or a learning management system. Aha, Mary, good show. Oh, got it. So for some of you, that's really going to be new. And I'm really excited about that because you're going to see once you have the experience, it really does, it changes the way you think about online learning in a lot of great ways, right? Okay, so there's going to be this 60-minute synchronous video class we have every time. And I definitely am aware that you're all in different places with your technology skills, and that is okay. So you might be a beginner and have not made a blog. You may not have used the Flipgrid. You may not have made a Padlet. You may not have even explored Google Docs very much. That's okay, because everybody learns from everybody. And the skills that you get to exercise will be a personal form of learning for you. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the workload for the course. The first big chunk of assignments are called Bleep Projects, and the idea is you leap into them. Each of these is worth 100 points, so that's about 10% of the course grade. And these are basically media projects that you can choose to complete in different ways, right? Each leap will give you some choices for how you will complete it. And we'll take a look at leap 1 in just a few minutes, right? These are really opportunities for you to exercise your creativity and to make some media. There'll be 2 opportunities for you to do some reflective writing, where you try to synthesize and summarize some of the key ideas from the readings and make connections with yourself as a teacher, as a learner, as a creative individual. And then the main, big, exciting part of this course is you have the opportunity to develop your own unique expertise that helps you advance your knowledge and your career ambitions. So I'm going to give you maximum latitude to develop a project that meets your own learning goals. You can work individually or with a partner. And this really works best if you design this project to be kind of relevant to your career ambitions, so that you see how the work that you're doing for this is relevant to the class and relevant to your career, right? So in general, though, when students ask for more structure, I can say, well, if you want, first of all, it's got to be something doable in just 6 weeks, right? So don't get carried away, right? Don't get carried away, because you're only going to have 6 weeks to work on it in the second half of the semester, right? And that might be a research paper that you submit to a conference or a scholarly journal, I can help you with that. That's a good thing. You might work as a research assistant using some existing structured research question. We've got all this awesome data from the Summer Institute in Digital Literacy, for example, right? That could be analyzed. And if you want to develop a creative project, right? Maybe you want to make a video, make a website, make a podcast. Who knows what you want to do, right? The world is your oyster. You can do that, right? But in any case, everybody is going to create a Video Ignite presentation. And one thing that I should show you right away is that I've put up some examples of that up here. If you click on this box, it always takes you to the home page. And up here under the final paper or project, supply more details, I will, right? Please take the time to read the description, a little bit of a timetable, a little bit about the criteria for evaluation, and check out these 3 examples made by students in previous semesters. Those examples might inspire your own thinking, right? So the final paper project is usually a really great way for you to develop your own expertise. Okay, now before I go on, I just wanted to notice, I'd like you to read the course policies after this class. I do think it's important to understand that because we're working in an open network learning environment, you are putting your academic work on the open internet. And to do that, you can decide whether or not you want your name referenced or not. So when you're making a blog for this course, you might not want to have your name on it, or maybe you do. So you can choose to create a pseudonym or to use an existing account. And basically, that's a decision really about your own level of comfort being visible online, right? We absolutely have a statement on plagiarism, but at the same time, we also have one on copyright and fair use, because you're going to get to know a whole lot about how you can use copyrighted materials in your own creative work, right? Okay, so now I've kind of walked through the syllabus. Let me see if you have any questions. What questions do you have? What questions do you have?
I had a question regarding the schedule, or maybe not. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But everything's due at 7 p.m. on what day? Is it the first day of the week, or?
Yes. So I'm gonna now that we have determined that Monday nights are the best night for this group, I will go back to the syllabus and add the actual dates, right? So we're gonna run this class from Monday to Monday. So let me just see if I can share the screen here. So there we go. So here we are in week 1. That's January 23rd. Next week, these 4 readings, it looks like 3 readings and a video, that TED Talk, right, are what's due for next week. But in between the syllabus and the assignment, you should always defer to the actual specifications that I put up here on the page. So I'll be really clear about that by going through it now. See where it says, please complete these activities before week 2? This is a list of basically everything that I want you to do between now and next Monday, right? And I'm going to go through those in a few minutes, but it's based on this idea that our regular meeting time, Monday night at 7 o'clock, is really going to be, that'll be defining the sort of due dates for the work that you're going to be doing. So before we go to the specific assignments that I want you to do for next week. Let's see if we can figure out the answers to these 4 questions. What is an open network learning environment, and why are we not using Sakai? What do we mean by the term digital authorship? Why is creating media such a powerful pedagogy of learning? And how can this course benefit you? Let's just have a little large group discussion on that, on any one of those 4 questions.
I'll start with the open network. The fact that you get a more authentic real world audience, it's not just enclosed within the 12 people that are here with, amongst us. And who knows what kind of other interaction you'll have, who might read what you've written, who might share what you've written, and where that'll leave. You know how it was like that shampoo commercial that goes, and so on, and so on, and so on. They're probably too old to remember that one, Renee. But I do remember it. But that's what it's collective knowledge, working from, the worldwide collective knowledge rather than a group of 12.
Nice, nice. Thanks for kicking us off. So I put the 4 questions back up on the screen. Which one would you like to answer?
I'd like to comment on why creating media is so powerful. I can't remember who it was, but I saw a TED Talk. I watched a TED Talk, and he talked about digital literacy and how it's not just, he compared it to being able to read, and you learn to read and you learn to write. So when it comes to digital literacy, it's not just about being able to absorb digital or just make your way through the digital world, but actually being able to create something in the digital world. And that struck with me. I think that's amazing, because I think it's very powerful to be able to do that, to create.
Yeah. Just the same way reading and writing are parts of literacy, right? Making media and analyzing media are parts of digital literacy.
Right.
And you can't do one without the other. You won't have the full literacy practice.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Good. Who wants to take on another one of these questions to try to answer? There they are up on the screen. We're still trying to get a handle on how this course can benefit you. Anybody want to tackle that?
I can do that one. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I think for me, at least, and being in the elementary school, there's definitely a push right now just for students to understand technology, because at this point, I think we're just a technology age, and I think students need to understand, just like Vanessa was saying, how to create something on there. So not only do they need to know how to read books, they now need to know how to read online, and they need to know how to respond and how to create different assignments and projects. And I think that just with all the testing and things like that, they just need to get used to how to work with technology.
Absolutely. So it's about that fluency and comfort with using technology as both a reader and as a writer. One of the reasons why I'm so keen on not using a learning management system like Sakai or Blackboard is that when I was at Harvard Ed School as a very young grad student, they kept saying to us over and over and over, if you want learning to transfer from the classroom to the world outside the classroom, you have to teach for transfer. And that phrase, teach for transfer, really struck with me, because it seemed like for me, much of my schooling was learning how to be a good student. And there was no transfer to like how to live a good life, how to be a good job, how to have a good, be a good leader or a business person or anything. It was all how to be a good student. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to have school kind of help me be good at life. And so what I found teaching online with a learning management system is that my students got really good at using Blackboard. or Sakai. And it's like, well, when in the world were they ever going to need to do that ever again? Right? I mean, that's kind of an irrelevant skill for life. It's good for school, but it's kind of irrelevant for life. So almost all of the tools we're going to be using, including this one that we're using right now, is freely available, right, on the open internet for anyone to use for any purpose, right? And so we're going to be modeling using those tools because those are tools that transfer to the world outside the classroom, right? And I think that's a big idea behind the philosophy of our using the open network learning environment. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen with you one last time, and we're going to literally walk through how to be ready for next week, all right? So we're at the page that says, please complete these videos before week 2. First step, annotate a video. We're going to watch the rest of that How to Be Creative video, and we're going to use the ANT video annotation tool, right? So, Donna, you are awesome! Fast and awesome, right? Donna, can you talk a little bit about how did you do that, girl? Oh, maybe Donna is not here. Maybe Donna was doing this because she couldn't be here. So that could be a case as well. Okay, so hold on here. How to be creative. So this tool called Video Ant allows you to make video annotations. But to do that, you have to be logged in. So do you see here how I'm logged in as Renee Hobbs? For you to make an annotation, you're going to have to log in. Video Ant is a tool of the University of Minnesota. And the way it works is you watch the video. And then when you get to a part that you want to comment on, you pause and you hit this little button here that looks like it says add annotation. And then up here, can you guys see on my screen right now? I don't know if you can see this, but now here's my annotation. Here's my annotation. And because we're doing this collaboratively, I might want to take a look at Donna Wales's comment, and I can respond to her comment. So we're almost going to be having like a conversation about the ideas of this video in an asynchronous way, right? Each on our own time when we're ready to do it. So that's the first thing I'd like you to do is watch that short video and annotate it, right? Okay. Then the next step, we're using a threaded discussion tool called Moot. And I'd like you to click on the link to check out the Moot discussion board and establish an account. Because although you're not going to be creating a community, you're going to be participating in a community. And here's the first activity. On the Moot page marked, "Who are you?" respond to the prompt designed to activate your early memories about creative expression in your life. You're encouraged to read and respond to the ideas of other class members. So here's the prompt. Select at least 2 of the questions below to introduce yourself to the class. Early memory. What is the first form of visual, sound, or digital media content that you can remember creating? Maybe that's a photograph, right? I'm not sure what else it was. What do you remember about creating it? Pride. What's an example of some form of creative expression that you were most proud of when you were growing up? Collaboration. Tell us about someone with whom you had a memorable collaboration. What do you remember about the person and the process? For me, that's going to be all about theater, right? the amazing creativity involved in putting on a play. Praise. What's your earliest memories of creating something where you received praise from adults, peers, or other people? Shame. Can you remember creating something that you later felt was not something to be proud of? And dream project. What do you remember dreaming about or wishing you create but never did? So this activity is designed to start stimulating your thinking about Bleep 1. And the way you'll do that is you'll just hit reply. And here you'll reply and you can add an image. It's a pretty simple to use threaded discussion. I'd also like you to do that using the Flipgrid. As those questions have started to jog your memory about your creative identity, use the Flipgrid to share a particular memory of creative expression and authorship in your life as a child or young adult. Maybe it was a drawing that your mom put on the refrigerator, right? And left it there. You'll add a response, just as you might remember from the Summer Institute, by putting a picture, hitting the audio button, and you have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Again, we're trying to understand the unique creative identities that we have perhaps from our childhood, maybe from our elementary or high school years, maybe from when we were in college, or maybe even from later in life. Okay? Now, step 5, read and view the assigned readings for week 2. And those are always presented below. Maria Popova's essay on Jerome Bruner, the marvelous piece in the New Yorker on whether or not people are more creative when they work in groups, the TED Talk by Csikszentmihalyi called Flow, The Secret to Happiness, and chapter 1 from David Gauntlet's book, Making is Connecting, right? Our focus question for next week is on the creative process. How do authors work? What are the conditions under which creativity flourishes? So after you read and view those assigned readings, I'd like you to respond to those readings by making a comment here on the Moot discussion board. And again, make a comment, and you can respond to at least one peer, right? All right, now that's a lot of work, right? But there's still 2 more things I'd like you to do. I'd like you to establish a Twitter account if you haven't one already, and find at least 20 interesting people to follow. I've given you some hashtags that might get you access to some amazingly smart and creative people. And I'd like you to create a blog for this course, or you can use an existing blog that you already have. What I'd like you to do is, after you create a blog for this course, send a tweet to the instructor with the hashtag EDC534 plus the link to the blog's homepage, right, before next Monday. And if you want to watch a tutorial on how to create a blog, I've got some links there for you. What I'm going to do as soon as you send me a tweet about it is I'm going to link your blog up here to the class roster. So as soon as you send me a blog, I'll link, Dan, your blog here. And all the work that you're going to do for this class will be here at your blog. Okay, whoa. Okay, whoa. What questions do you have now?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I went on that website, the Mute, is it Mute?
Yeah, Moot.
And it said I needed a community name.
That's if you want to create your own discussion board.
Okay, which
So
I
you don't. So don't make a community.
Okay.
Right? So you're just going to get an account and then go back to the page and click on basically the community I've created, right? Which is called like digital authorship, right? So it kind of like treats you like you're creating a community. But in this case, you're participating in a community. So use the links there in the on the web page that I showed you to get at to see the to see where you contribute to the existing community. Good question. What other questions do you have? Okay, you have no other questions? Okay.
If we think of questions, what's the best way to ask?
Now, the best way to communicate with me is Twitter. Because I am addicted to Twitter, which means that 10 or 15 times a day, I will be looking at Twitter. So if you have a question, send me a direct message on Twitter, and you'll get the fastest response. Now, you may also use my cell phone, and my cell phone number is in the syllabus, and you may also send me an email. And that's the slowest way I will respond because I get 400 emails a day. So I try to keep up with my email, but it's challenging. So Twitter, phone, oh yeah, and if you have to use email. Okay, so if you have any questions, that's the mechanism by which you can do it. Now, I did want to just invite you to do, some of you are, most of you are kind of like achievement oriented, which means you kind of want to know, well, what's the first thing that is really due and how do I get a jump on it, right? Right, that probably crossed your mind, right? So if you want to kind of get a sense what the first project is that's due, you can see that in the syllabus, oh dear. In the syllabus, it says your first project is due week 3, and it's the LEAP, right? And so I'm taking you back up here to the main page. There it is. And up here at the top, each of these has stuff from the syllabus, but then see where it says LEAPs 2017? These are the LEAPs, and I've already posted the first LEAP. The first LEAP is due week 3, and that's what it is. It's called Media Memoir. So please feel free to read over that LEAP. You might even be thinking about it, because some of the activities that I've asked you to do this week are kind of like a pre-writing to get your head thinking about writing that media memoir about your identity as a creative person, right, at some point in your past. So take a look at that, and we'll talk a lot more about that assignment next week. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock. You've wasted 1 hour of amazing time here with me, Renee Hobbs, and the amazing students of EDC 534. I am so delighted we're going on this journey together. And having done this a couple of times, I can tell you that I have no idea where it's going. But it's going to be awesome, okay?
I have a question.
Mary Wallace.
Hey, if we send you the link to our blog via Twitter, you also have our Twitter, right? Yeah. Okay, all right.
That's why I want you to send it to me via Twitter. You are sussing me out already, girl.
Gotcha.
Cool. All right, live long and prosper. I'll see you guys next Monday.
Can't do that.
Same time, same bad channel. Give me the sign. Come on.
I can't. Some of us just can't.
I can't do it.
All right, practice makes perfect. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.